Not enough attention is being paid to ensuring that we have regular discourse among women intellectuals and women political leaders on both the conceptual discussion of what we mean by gender equality, as well as an assessment of the progress that we may or may not be making in achieving gender equality.
Well, I guess a question then someone may ask is, but women like you are as close as possible to power. What are you doing in your respective corners to make sure that this dialogue does in fact happen?
Well, I think women in politics probably focus to a great degree on political matters and perhaps do not sufficiently integrate attention to gender equality at all levels of their work. But really what this meeting does is draw together women from a range of sectors, non-governmental organizations, former political leaders, academics who have both researched and written on the issues of gender. So it's really drawing together these various facets of what makes women in society and having them deliberate on the progress we're making and dialoguing. Essentially, I think what's happening here is women feel they can say what they want. So we're not only talking about the issues of violence against women, we're also talking about women's leadership, we're also talking about women and their voices, we're talking about their experience and hearing it live. So it's a range of aspects.
But what have these women said here that we haven't heard before?
I think what I'm hearing is there's a lot of questioning. They want to challenge
questioning
political
their
leaders.
own role or questioning other people?
Political leaders, I get the sense they're challenging government. There's a sense in which they feel perhaps there's insufficient integration of the mainstreaming of gender, both in policy and practice. And that at the beginning of our democracy, there was a far higher attention to this aspect. But the sense I'm hearing in the dialogue is a feeling that there's been a decline.
Do these women say why? Have you discussed why?
Maybe, as they've said, the early victories have caused us to stop paying attention.
You're more complacent.
Maybe become somewhat complacent and perhaps define gender equality as the access of women to positions of power, rather than to the changing of the entire of women in our society. So they're saying while indeed there may be women who occupy a high political position, but there are some women in our country who still collect water from a river.
But from where you sit, let's leave political women aside. Let's go to business. Do you get a sense that women in business have a different view of life and the role of women, but also where women are as opposed to where they should be? Do you get a sense that they have the same sense of where they are and where they should be as political women? Now, is there a difference between how women in business see South Africa as opposed to women in politics?
I don't know whether I would say there's an absolute difference. I do think there are differences. I think if you are a general manager or CEO and you're a woman, you probably are very busy and believe you're extremely successful. And you might not consider the aspect of poor women and their position in the economy. So the question is, from all the positions each of us occupies, how do we use where we are to change the condition of all women?